Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at the Rider Kicks figure Rider Armor Series O's armor from Kamen Rider GO. So this is the O's inspired armor for GO to wear. You can see a picture of it right here on the front, and then kind of an in-show picture of the armor on the side over here. Another picture of the figure on this side, and this side as well. Nothing really going on the bottom, not too much going on the top. Taking a look at the back, just kind of a cool dynamic picture of the armor, and then it just shows you how it combines with the GO figure, which of course we'll take a look at. So also compatible with the Gates figure, but I'm only going to show you the O's figure because on the show he's the only one to wear it so far. But it is possible to use it with the Gates figure as well. So let's go ahead and get out of the packaging here and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so the O's armor is made up of 3 animals: Hawk, Tiger, and Grasshopper, or Taka, Tora, and Bata, which were the 3 O's medals that O's used for his core form. Very cool. I like the idea. Taka leaves a little bit to be desired. It has no moving parts. To me, it looks more like a butterfly than a hawk. Obviously, it is just the complete face mask for the armor form, and it is just one solid molded piece, painted nicely. I do appreciate that, but it's just, I don't know, definitely doesn't look like a hawk to me. I guess they were limited in what they could do, but the weakest one in my opinion. Next up is Tora, or Tiger, which I think is probably the best one. Has ball joints here for the armor, but in the Tiger mode, has a cool little tiger head on this side. Big claw, no claw on this side, but you can see the feet kind of molded in down here. Looks pretty neat. And then last but not least, we have the Grasshopper or Bata. You can move these little like mandibles around. I guess these are supposed to be like the antenna of the grasshopper, but these hinges kind of look like eyes, and it just kind of ends up looking like a weird like alligator or some other kind of monster like that. I mean, when you look at it head on, it doesn't so much. But from here, it just kind of looks creepy to me. This looks like a giant mouth. But you can see the telltale grasshopper legs in the back here. So, the 3 individual animals are, you know, not amazingly representing the animals that they're meant to represent. But it's decent. And it's all in purpose of a larger goal, which is to form some armor. So let's go ahead and bring in Geo, and we'll check out the armor. Alright, so first thing you're going to do is basically disassemble everything. You can see this little piece right here. These back legs are kind of connected to it. That's going to unpeg. You can see there were 2 peg holes right there and 2 pegs right there. Put that off to the side. Split this in half. Put all that off to the side. This guy's ready to go. He doesn't do anything. Coming to Tora, you're going to pop the ball joints for these. And then down here, these little parts will unpeg. And they can be a little tight, so just be careful. But they will eventually unpeg. There we go. Do that on both sides. There we go. So you've basically taken everything completely apart. And then you come to Geo. Take off his 2 ride watch holders on his wrists. Put them off to the side. Actually, this one does not come with a new belt piece. So you just leave this on here. If you have a double ride watch belt piece from a previous armor, you could use that. But then you won't have like the crotch flap for his armor, because this comes off as one full piece. So you actually just leave it on. This armor does not come with a new belt piece, which is a bit of a bummer in my opinion. But so you take the chest plate. You can see that there's 2 tiny pegs right there. You're going to go ahead, peg this into the 2 pegs on his back. If you can get it to line up. Why can't I line it up? There we go. So that closes over, pegs in pretty snug. So now he's got a little vest. Then you're going to take the 2 arm pieces. I like to do these next just to make sure that I really get them to peg on there so that they're not in the way. So you peg those into the forearms the same way you would peg on the ride watch holders. And you can see he's got a giant Wolverine or Vega from Street Fighter claw going on here, which is pretty cool. Then you're going to reattach the ball joints for the shoulders. And that just kind of gives you a lot of range of motion there, so that's nice. Next up, we will do the Grasshopper Bits. You're going to take this, you can see that there's a peg here, and that's just going to peg into the side of the calf muscle. So go ahead, boom, peg those on each side. And you can tell where it lines up because they have these little like cutouts for the kneecaps. Now with these gray pieces, it's up to you. I kind of like to push them up and close to the side of the leg just so they're out of the way. If you want to leave them out, it's completely up to you. Same with these pieces. If you want to put them up, you want to bend them down, however you want to do it, completely your call. The other piece from the Grasshopper, you will turn like this, and then these two pegs will peg in right there. So you're just going to slide that in and peg that in there. And then you take your big Taka headpiece, and you can see there's two sections here. Now I seem to have a lot of trouble with this, and maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I tried to read the directions. There are two little nubs here. Whoops, and I'm flinging this all over the place. So you can see that there's one here on the bottom and there's one here. I think you have to put the first one through and then try to bring it in and clip the bottom one in. But for whatever reason, the bottom one doesn't always want to clip in 100% for me, so I'll do it the best that I can. I don't know. That's about as best as I can get it. I don't know why mine doesn't... If I take it off the body and I just clip it into the chest plate without the figure, it seems to do it a lot better. I mean, it'll stay. It's not going to fall off, but I feel like it's not clipped in 100%. But there is your O's armor. I like the look of it. Because of the way the headpiece clips on, it doesn't give you any head movement. So there's no real range of like neck articulation. Like, I guess technically you can still move the head back there, but this piece is stuck on there. But the shoulders move around, so that doesn't hinder articulation too much. And the same for the legs, because they just clip on the side, so you don't have too much going on in the way of... I mean, if you bend at the knee, obviously that piece comes with it, but... So yeah, it's really not too bad. It's a shame, though. It's definitely not my favorite of the armors we've gotten so far. I wish it came with a new belt piece. Not a huge problem, but I do wish it did that. And I wish they had done something better. I would almost rather these just be two separate pieces, and you just clipped this one on like you do with the Grasshopper piece, and then this piece just like stuck onto the head the same way they've done it with all the other ones, like the X8 and all those. Because then it would be, you'd get the head movement back. I feel like this would be able to clip in a lot easier if it was just two little pegs, and then this piece could just sandwich onto the head, and then you'd get the head rotation. So I feel like that would have been a better way to do it. I guess they figured it would be too hard to connect to those two pieces for the Taka or Hawk mode. But to be honest, the Hawk mode is kind of trash anyway, so I don't really feel like they could have made it any worse. I think it would have been worth trying, but who knows? Maybe they tried that at first and plastic integrity was too thin or something. I'm not an engineer, but that's what personally I would have liked to see. But I do like how this piece says Taka, this piece says Tora, and this piece says Bata the same way it says O's in his visor, so I do appreciate that. So overall, I like the concept. I like the three pieces being animals, and I do like the way they connect for the most part. Just don't love the way this connects with the headpiece. So final thoughts, I definitely think it's still worth picking up. I definitely like the look of the armor. The colors together are very fun, very colorful. Overall, I do like the design. Like I said, I really do like the way that it's three animals that come together. I do wish they gave you a second claw. I mean, the OCD in me doesn't like that it's asymmetrical. I understand why, because you can't really have... I mean, I guess they could have just had it this way, but then bend. Or you could just unplug it and plug it in this way, and then unplug it and plug it in that way. Would have been simple enough to do, because it's just kind of like, you know, just fitting it over two tiny little tabs. So I feel like they could have done something with that, and I would have reworked the headpiece so that it pegged in more securely, because the way the Bata piece connects is perfect. It's just two little pegs right in, perfect. I would have just had it peg in the same way up here, and then had this be a separate piece that just sandwiched onto the head, and then you can get your neck rotation back. So it's definitely fun, and I do like the overall design of it. I should say the overall look of it, but there's just a couple little tweaks that I would have loved to have seen just to, I think, improve the mold a little bit. But still fun, still worth picking up. OOO is a personal favorite of mine, so definitely a lot of good here. Just a couple little gripes in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.